right. We back?
Did we tell them no Pink Floyd anymore?
Yeah, I mean, what's the problem?
That's it. No Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's done. They're dead to us.
They're the greatest band of all time. What do you mean?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. They're awesome.
No, I don't dislike Pink Floyd, but these guys have, like, this Pink Floyd obsession.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather a lot more Hendrix.
Yeah, me too.
I love Hendrix.
Yeah. So it's Tom, it's Tony, and we have Nick Fenton in the house. Hey, Nick.
What's up,
So you went to
Tom?
the Bear game yesterday.
I did.
How was it?
I got to say, I was a little disappointed in the Bears fan. Everybody jetted halfway through the fourth quarter.
It was nasty. It's depressing to watch the Bears.
I don't know. There was a couple good plays.
Yeah.
They had like 2 interceptions and one more touchdown. I
Were you
believe.
there when they did that fake punt at the end of the game?
No.
Oh, you weren't there.
I don't remember the fake
The,
punt.
the, where the where
It's in
where,
the last.
Oh, I was there. I
game.
was there till the clock said 0.
So Green Bay punted and Hester faked catching it, and then Johnny Knox caught it and ran up the sideline.
I might have been getting a beer.
No,
Tell everybody who we have here.
They stopped selling beer.
We have Nick Fenton. He's from TickerTank.
Yeah.
We said it wrong 25
Not Ticker
times.
Plant.
Not Ticker Plant, not Ticker U, not Ticker.
Not Ticker Taint.
Yeah.
Not Ticker Tank.
Ticker Taint?
Tank. Ticker Tank.
What's
T-A-N-K.
Ticker Taint?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it ain't Ticker Tank.
Ticker Tank. I've actually known Nick for a number of years since you bought the day trade business.
Yeah.
Going back, I don't know how many years ago that was. And we've had some, relationships in the past, but I'm glad you're a member of our superstore, and thanks for coming by. You're in Chicago today. You have a very interesting story. Your love for trading started when you won $100 like middle school competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that last year? Because you look about 21 years old. I mean,
I'm 31 for the record. Got the baby face, which should treat me good in the future.
let me tell you something. You're gonna love it when you're my age. So
Exactly.
yeah, no.
My wife is 32 and she looks like she's 18. So
Perfect.
our kids are probably gonna look. I don't know.
Otherwise, it'd be weird. If she looked like 40 or something like that, it'd be weird. It'd be a little.
I only look like I'm 29-ish, okay, and I'm actually a lot older than that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So 7th grade Kentucky State stock market challenge. One
You're
for
supposed to be gambling on horses when you grow up where you did.
That's right. Were you,
I
frowned,
do a little bit of that too.
Yeah,
were you frowned upon?
Yeah,
You won a financial thing, and you weren't
No,
able to pick the Kentucky Derby winner or something like that.
I've picked a Derby winner, 1 or 2 in my days, but I've also
So you can
lost
do it
way
all.
more.
Okay.
Yeah. So we won for the for our school, then for the district, and then ended up winning for the state. That kind of sparked my passion for just trading in the markets. My dad really pushed me and would buy me Wall Street Journals. And
What does your dad do?
he was a pilot in the Marines. He flew the A6 Intruder, and then he retired from the Marines after 20 years, and we moved to Louisville, Kentucky. He was a pilot for UPS. He flew the DC-8.
Okay. Cool.
We have a lot of pilots that love
it's
Tasty Trade.
The pilot, I know, now I understand the lineage because pilots love love financial markets because there's a lot.
Because they don't get enough flying tons of aircraft
because
around.
it's so logical, and pilots love when they're in control. It's they love the control piece, and I think it just comes all the way down through investing.
Yeah.
And passed on to you.
Yeah, he's a major control freak, that's for sure. Between the Marines and being a pilot, control freak.
Yeah.
He's a great guy though. He's retired now.
So I love the story. So you saw this guy on TV or wherever it was, Andy, who's been on the show. He's been on the show before. You said, I got to do this. You went out and bought his business.
No, I didn't buy a day trade team.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I emailed Andy and Landon, and I sent them my resume. I said, you guys have to let me work for you. I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky. I have a huge passion for the market. I was in the mortgage industry at the time as a secondary market manager.
Sure.
And they interviewed me 3 times, gave me an IQ test, and then said, you're in. So I started as a junior analyst with them, then ended up being a senior analyst. And then when the company was purchased, that's when I became president of Day Trade Team.
Oh, okay, I got it. I got it. So you are also a cancer survivor?
I am. Yeah.
Amazing.
At 11 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's disease. I had a 50-50 chance of living, which was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And, went through 6...
It's like buying a stock.
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
selling a stock. It's 50-50,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, 9 months of chemo, 1 month
analogy.
of radiation, and here I am. I've had a few complications since then, just a few surgeries, spine surgeries. That was a result of the radiation, caused a tumor on my T5 vertebrae. So got a little numbness in my legs. They've had to cut out a growth in my spine 4 times now, but they think it's done growing.
So after that, trading's kind of,
yeah.
you know.
But all in all, I've lost, I think, about 4 years of opportunity and from healing from all that. But while I was down, I was doing a lot of educating myself. And
So let's talk about markets now a little
I wish
bit.
TastyTrade was around. It's like I sat and watched it.
A lot of people do.
By the way, let me just tell you,
Cancer
guys,
survivors are our #1 future customer base.
I gotta tell you, I've never been this bullish on a business as I am on TastyTrade.
Thanks.
If I could get into TastyTrade, I would just cut a check right now.
You can't.
I know. I already asked, remember?
You did. You're not the first person. We've had about 10 guests come here and say, "Can you cut a check?" Unfortunately, we're okay.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I mean, we're okay. And one of the nice things about having prior successes in life is that you get to control. One of the things I've learned in business over the years is never give up control.
Absolutely. Guard your equity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just learned the hard way. And but
Tom's got a little bit of pilot Marine in him also. Never been a pilot, never been a Marine, but he likes to keep control.
Control freak.
Well, the funny thing was, when we built up Thinkorswim, which everybody knows, we started, and we built it up at some point through a bunch of different deals we made, even though I was the largest shareholder, I couldn't control the board. And at some point we sold the company because we had no choice. Sure. Not because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty public that I voted against, selling the company, and not because, TD's not a great company. Well, I love those guys. I'm a shareholder, whatever, but I'm not, I just wanted to control.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you just don't want something to happen. It happens, but you can't fight it. It just is what it is. And you move on and you make something better.
Well, that was a great trade. And
everything's, you know what, life's, if you just have really positive outlook, which I'm sure you do, life's
Absolutely.
a good trade.
Yeah.
So let's talk markets now.
Sure.
So you're a very active trader.
Yes.
And you love the business.
Absolutely.
And so, and you have this site where you basically, let's call it an educational site.
Yeah, it's educational.
And so what's your primary, like if you could throw out a couple of really important things that people should be focused on? Because I'm sure your focus is amazing.
Sure.
Ever since I've known your focus is, your focus is really tight. So like what should people focus on? Just primary things to get them in the right, frame.
Well, one thing I always say is, you say you're not a technical analyst, but you talk a lot of technicals. So one of the things I say is force confirmations, not trades. So never force a trade. Don't just put a trade on to put a trade on. Put a trade on after it's confirmed a specific technical move. Another thing I always kind of subscribe to is don't predict market moves, react to the market. So for example, right now, we are in a big range, which everybody gets
1,100, 1,200, let's call it.
Yeah, everybody gets extremely scared. I'm watching the VIX range and the S&P range and the Dow range. And, just react to range support with a bullish position or exiting a bearish position. React to range resistance by entering a bearish position or exiting a bullish position, rather than trying to predict a breakout of the range by, say, entering a bullish position at resistance. Just continue to play the range.
We agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about that, almost nonstop on the show.
And one thing I don't understand right now is why people are getting so scared when the market goes down. Because until it breaks that range support, there's nothing to be scared of. We're just stuck sideways. Granted, it's a very wide range and it's very volatile. So I guess when the moves are down, they're down fast. That's kind of scary.
It's not that wide when you reach it, 4 days.
I mean, the VIX range is like 30 to 44. So that's a pretty wide VIX range.
Nick, it's amazing to me that if you tell people what are kind of what are you supposed to do with the stock market? If you just say, what have you learned about the stock market over the years? Most people say you're supposed to buy low and sell high.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing people tell you.
Yeah.
Okay? You're supposed to reward your dog when he does something good.
Yeah.
You're supposed to buy low and sell high. What does the first thing that every single person does when the market goes higher? They buy something.
Yep.
And when the market goes lower, they sell it out.
They run for the hills.
It's like, dude, you just told me you're supposed to buy low and sell high. Oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, but I can't do that. Yeah. I'm just saying, and that's what you just said.
And the best time to pull the trigger is when it seems hardest. If that makes sense.
It does. Because I'm going to show you why. Last week, we had a situation where on this show, we've been talking about selling the NASDAQ and buying the S&Ps or buying the Russell or buying the Dow, anything else. Just selling NASDAQ, buying everything else. Because we think you're going to see a sector rotation out of NASDAQ into financials, into other things. Mm-hmm. Everybody said last week, I must have got 1,000 emails, not 1,000, but hundreds of emails saying, Tom, the NASDAQ's roaring. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can't do that. NASDAQ's roaring. The other things are all kind of weak. And just, I'm always like, listen, I know I'll probably be early, whatever, but that's what this is setting up for. The NASDAQ's overbought relative. Tony, throw up a chart of the S&Ps real fast.
Yeah, S&P, we've got a sideways consolidation range, and the NASDAQ, we've got kind of an uptrend channel.
That's right. Watch this. So,
So
here's
this is the ES. This is just a daily one.
see where we are at the bottom of that page on the ES, just all the way at the bottom of the page. That's where we are on the ES. Just wrap down around right now. The S&Ps are 1129, so you can kind of see where the S&Ps are. They're right down the bottom of the range.
What is the range? Yeah.
Last Thursday, I threw on a bull SPY spread.
So, but that's the 1100, 1200 range, and we're Tony just do that circle, the middle of the circle. That's where we are right now. Now take a look at the Nasdaq.
Wait 1 second before you leave this chart. Another scary thing to look at, potentially scary, is that's what's called a bear flag potentially. We've got that huge downside move from about 1350 down to 1100, and then we have the sideways consolidation. So if it does break down below 1100, we could see another 250 points to the downside potentially from a technical perspective.
Not disagreeing with you. There's obviously whatever that doesn't matter to me right now. But go to the Nasdaq chart for a second.
You just want the future?
Yeah. And I'll show you. Now, that's a Nasdaq chart. It's a very different pattern. And all we were saying was this pattern will probably, meaning it's this huge divergence, it will probably change and go back into some form of normalcy. And meaning that it will revert to the mean. So for us, that's a trade. That's all it is. For us, that's a trade. So what happens is we sell NASDAQ, we buy anything else, in this case S&Ps or Russell, whatever, and waiting for it to revert to the mean. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
And today, you're seeing action. NASDAQ down 15, S&Ps up 2.
Yeah.
Okay, or Russell unchanged. Now,
To see
you want to talk about bear
convergence.
flags? Go to silver one more time, Tone.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, silver's.
Classic.
Yeah.
Because I just want to show you what Nick meant when he talked about bear flag. Now I'll argue that I don't care, but that's the bear.
See, you are a technical analyst.
I'm just showing you guys, because technicians like to later on.
They like the visual.
They like the visual. It doesn't mean anything to me. They like to see the visual. But this is kind of an extended, but this extended of the same type of pattern.
Yeah.
But that's how most of them grow up, though. I mean, here's a young guy. He didn't have
grew up in Louisville. Man, have you ever been to Louisville?
Yes, I have.
People are the nicest.
Oh, that's great.
They are so
almost
nice.
as nice as people from Wisconsin. I have to say that just because I lost a bet from this weekend with the Bears. So
you have to say that?
I have to say like nice things about Wisconsin all day. Yeah, that's
you like cheese curds and trailers?
Absolutely love that.
Beautiful.
Love that.
Oh, by the way,
I love a double wide. I really enjoy putting my cheese head hat on.
You like green and green and gold?
Green and gold is just like some of my favorite colors.
You like fish boils and fish fries?
I love butter on everything I eat.
You like supper clubs and custard?
There's nothing better than a fish fry at a supper club on a Friday. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Brats. Hot dogs. Brats.
I know the kind of women you like.
Oh, please, Tom.
There's no
don't hurt me.
Italians.
I love witnessing the chemistry in person. It's one thing to see it on there, but
Maybe
it's fun to watch
Christy
you guys
Ross,
get
but
in your
that's
zone.
a rare breed out of
Christy Ross from Wisconsin, definitely in the wheelhouse.
A rare
like
breed.
That. Hope the wife isn't listening right now. Thank you for throwing me under the bus, Tom. Appreciate it.
Anyway, Nick, he had to say stupid things about Wisconsin. You love cheese curds. I got it. Okay. You love whatever it is.
Can't wait to go to the Cheese Castle. I'm going to drive an hour just to get
Bratwurst
there.
and old style. Sure.
Bratwurst, old stuff. Yum. Milwaukee's best. #1.
Oh yeah,
That's
the beast.
That's a bear flag.
It's
extended.
Yes, extended bear
I just
flag.
want to show you what that looks like. But your point is really well taken. It's just so hard, Nick, to get people to commit to that kind of mentality.
Sure.
It's hard to buy them when they look like crap, and it's hard to sell them when they look good. And part of what this show is all about is just when they're up, you have to sell them, and when they're down, you kind of have to buy them when they get to extremes.
Yeah.
It's all about looking for the levels of capitulation and looking for the opportunity based on that level of complacency or capitulation.
Yeah, the thing about technical analysis, in my opinion, is keep it simple. Don't get crazy advanced. Just look at the ranges. Look at the areas of support and resistance. This is just a no-brainer trade situation right now. There's a lot of money to be made with this range. It's a great opportunity because it's a huge volatile range. It's just perfect.
Vol's high. We just vol was.
I mean, that's the best part.
42.5. It just rallied to 0.20. The VIX did in the last half hour. So I got to go back to this one thing for a second. So you're in this grade school competition.
Yeah.
You probably have like a little clue what you're doing, but not much, right?
Not much.
Because my son was in some competition when he was like in high school, and he said, "Dad, everybody says I have a big advantage because of you." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So everybody wants to know what my picks are. I go, "You're probably going to come in last, okay?" So listen to what my genius son did. So he didn't listen to me. I gave him a bunch of picks, and I happened to have been kind of hot at that time. He decided that his friend's dad, because What?
Oh.
Knew more because he
Big
ran
mistake.
a hedge fund.
Of course.
So he went with all of his picks.
You never do what your dad says to
Of
do.
course. So he went with all his picks. He came in like last. Now, if he'd gone with me, of course, you know.
Do you have children, Nick?
No,
Do you have
not
children?
yet.
No,
Not
no
yet.
children.
I remember in that
What'd you pick?
in that contest, everybody was picking. At first, we were guilty of this too, but like McDonald's and Coke and Pepsi. You know,
Sure.
the stuff that seventh graders
Stuff
would
that you-
pick.
right, stuff
So
that you
I
drink.
noticed this trend, and I said, you know what, guys, we got to go outside the box. There was 3 other guys in this group. So we got to go outside the box. So my dad had a wealthy older friend that owned a bunch of McDonald's, but he was very active in the stock market. I called him, and he gave me 2 picks, Auto Tote and Promise. Promise was like a casino company. Auto Tote was a car manufacturer or something along those lines. And those 2 stocks just exploded. I mean, it was crazy. And then
I remember
it split
Auto
and
Tote.
exploded, split and exploded. And it was great.
It's so funny because it's really funny how you remember like trades going back. You know, that was what, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
It was
remember trades.
93. Yeah, 93.
I remember trades from 1982. Like I'm still like I'll never forget. There's one time I was going somewhere and I did this soybean trade and I wasn't trading in the soybean pit and I bought like 350 call spreads in soybeans because I was convinced they were like $4. I was convinced they were going higher. I bought them out like 6 months. And like to this day, I'm still kicking myself.
I would make a couple of hundred trades a day and write each one of them down. And not only would I remember the trades I did, I would remember what I did against it to like if you had an out trade or something like that, to say, no, we couldn't have done it at that price because I did this trade at this price. And I know I was doing the whole thing for this price. And then people go, oh, yeah, you kind
You know what I remember? I remember putting Netflix on just a couple weeks ago, 195, 200 bull spread, and then getting crushed.
Yeah.
I mean,
You always
totally off subject, but let's talk
You
about
always-
a bad trade. That was an awful trade.
No, you're a lot. You're
Listen, the
supposed to
range
have
was
bad trades.
that was a 200. The low end of the range was 200.
Yeah, and I'm at TLT 114, 116 right now, bear spread, so
Short call spread.
that hurts.
Yeah, you need a gift from the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right there with you.
It looked nice
All
on
right.
that 115.
We are
resistance.
talking with Nick Fenton, and he is from TickerTank.com, and we're going to let you go, Nick, because we got a full show. But thank you for coming by. Thanks for coming to Chicago.
You're a
good
great
to see you,
guest.
man. He is in our superstore.
No, wait a minute. You rap too, right?
I do rap, yeah.
He sent us a bunch of his raps. I was going to have you rap with Sarah.
They're a little risque.
Yeah, we can't do them
Oh
right.
no, they're
but-
pretty good.
No, they're good. They're good.
they're good.
No, I mean I kind of keep it tame. You know?
Yeah, they're good.
Not too bad.
I wanted you to rap with Sarah because she raps,
Sure.
and her brother raps. And next time you come to Chicago, we're doing a rap thing.
Cool.
All right, man.
I'm in.
Rap battle.
Great. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Thanks, Nick, for coming in.
Hey, thanks for
Thanks,
having
Nick.
me. Appreciate it.